You ever have one of those moments where your life splits in two before and after, and, deep down, nothing's going to be the same? That's exactly what happened the day three cop cars boxed me in on my own land, weapons drawn, sirens howling, officers screaming at me to get on the ground. And I realized, right then and there, the story of Marcus Wellington in Oakage County was about to become legend, whether I wanted it or not. My knees hit the dirt, gravel biting through my jeans, a knee digging into my back hard enough to make me see stars, but all I could think was, don't give them the satisfaction. Not today. So I whispered into my watch, as calm as I could, Agent Wellington, authorization code Delta 69er. Operation Sunlight, now active. Yeah, that really happened. But let me back up a sec because nobody wakes up one day planning to get raided on the property they just bought. Especially not after working 15 years in a bureau, playing the long game, outsmarting cartel bosses and Wall Street crooks, always two steps ahead, and never, not once, thinking the most dangerous assignment would be right here in my own home state. You know what's wild? The land I bought, the same 50 acres where my ancestors couldn't even walk after sundown a generation ago, was once the pride of the Whitfield Familia family, so tied up in Oakage history that you'd think their blood ran through the dirt. When my offer went through, nobody said congratulations. Nobody baked a pie, just a lot of tight smiles and eyes that slid right off me like I was invisible and radioactive at the same time. But that was fine. I wasn't here for small talk. I was here on assignment, deep undercover as a real estate developer, sent to expose a nest of corruption so thick even the Bureau wasn't sure how deep it went. Only Director Chinmay Handler, my mentor, the one person who knew how personal this was, tried to warn me. You're walking into a powder keg, Marcus. This isn't like Miami. These people make problems disappear. But you know how it is sometimes the things you need to do are the same things you can't walk away from. My first 3 days in Oakage, let's just say the welcome wagon rolled out in reverse. The hardware store owner tracked me down every aisle like I was pocketing wrenches. At the diner, I could have sat anywhere, but somehow I got the worst seat. Serve last, cold eggs on a cold plate. The gas station guy wanted to know why Seif. I was just passing through. Frank Miller, my next-door neighbor, watched me through binoculars, his shotgun always close enough to send message. And still, none of that prepared me for what I found walking the edge of my property top-shelf surveillance gear, tucked into tree hollows and brush piles, the kind only law enforcement or people with real money could afford. I snapped photos, didn't touch a thing, filed it away. Let them watch me. I'd use their eyes against them. But then came the morning, everything snapped into place. I pulled up just after dawn, thinking I'd have a quiet hour to set up my own counter-surveillance, nothing fancy, just some extra insurance. I barely had time to snap a photo of a fake birdhouse camera before I heard tires crunching gravel, engines gunning hard. 3 cruisers, tactical formation, boxed me in like I was El Chapo on the run. Doors slammed, weapons up, voices barking, get on the ground, hands where we can see them. The lead was Brennan, built like an ex-linebacker, face set in a scowl that told me he wasn't here to play. Wilson, younger, hands shaking, could see the nerves all over him. Grimes, the sergeant, came out last, all calm arrogance and a smirk that made you want to check if you still had your wallet. So there I am, hands up, voice steady, officers. I own this land, got the papers in my truck. Grimes barely blinks. We got a trespassing call. Property owner says you're not authorized, which is rich, seeing as that property owner was supposed to be me. Brennan snorts, yeah, and I'm the king of England. Get down now, or you're non-compliant. I can see where this is going, so I drop to my knees, tap my watch, recording activated, GPS coordinates pinging straight to the Bureau, but not yet blowing my cover. I know the drill didn't escalate. Don't tip your hand unless you have to. Wilson cuffs me, hands shaking. Sir, just doing our job. Grimes leans in, breath hot. You picked the wrong town, boy. Oakage County has traditions. Racial undertones, so thick you could bottle and sell it. I don't react. Not yet. But the real kicker, Brennan goes through my truck, comes back waving a baggie of white powder. Looks like our trespassers also holding. Sarge, we got a live one. And just like that, my father's ghost walked right through me. 30 years ago, same county, same mistake. My dad, Jonathan Wellington, framed by these same uniforms, lost 8 years of his life to a lie, our family crushed in the process. Now here I was, déjà vu with new faces. I glance up. There's a crowd gathering at the edge of the property. Some with phones out, one woman in particular, camera steady, face hard. Maybe a journalist, maybe just the only person with guts in this town. Brennan yanks me up, rough enough for the cuffs to bite, shoves me face down on his cruiser. Found drugs, Sarge. Think we need to take him in for processing. Grimes circles, leans close. How's a guy like you afford 50 acres, huh? That land's been in the Whitfield family forever. Maybe you're running product for the city. Brennan's voice goes up, making sure the neighbors can hear. Drug dealers come to our quiet community, set up shop, act like they belong. Out of nowhere, a black SUV rolls up. Mayor Richard Collins, suit sharp, eyes sharper. Grimes straightens, suddenly deferential. They huddle, whisper, but I see the body language. This is bigger than some routine bust. Now the crowd's double, half the town watching, some faces tight with fear, others with barely disguised hate. The woman with the phone gives me a little nod, not just recording, she's documenting. Hope flickers. Evidence. They shove me in the back of Grimes's cruiser. The ride to the station tense and silent. Through the mesh, I hear snippets. Mayor's project, keeping it quiet. The station's a relic. Cameras, so old they might as well be paperweights. I'm marched in a side door, booked hard fingers slammed, mugshot taken, Brennan making sure every step stings. But I clock everything: their evidence system, the layout, the faces. In the interrogation room, hot, windowless, lights blinding. Grimes and Brennan run the old playbook. Leading questions, threats about drug charges. I stick to my cover. Developer, revitalizing Oakage, proof in the truck. They try to rattle me, but I know this script better than they do. Suddenly, Wilson Rookie brings me water, slips me a note. They're setting you up. Chief asking questions. Your prints triggered something. My heart skips. The Bureau knows I'm here. Is help coming, or do I need to go loud? The door opens. Chief Harper himself. Face pale, sweating. He calls Grimes and Brennan out, voices raised outside. The whole station's suddenly on edge. Wilson slips back in, whispers, FBI's calling, asking for you by name. Director Chin. I nod barely. Then the commotion hits. Feds at the door, Director Chin's voice slicing through the chaos. Where is Special Agent Marcus Wellington? Game over. When they finally bring me out, the station's transformed. Tactical teams, computers getting boxed up, local officers wilted against the walls. Chin walks straight up. Are you all right, Agent Wellington? The whole place freezes. I stand up straight, feeling every eye in the room. I'm fine, Director, but I think you'll want to hear the tapes I've been gathering. The color drains from Grimes and Brennan as Wilson fumbles with my cuffs. For 15 years, I've hunted civil rights abusers and dirty cops. What happened today? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Harper tries to protest. Chin cuts him off. You'll explain yourself to federal investigators. Subpoenas are coming. The feds move in, agents everywhere, computer techs pulling files. I catch Grimes alone, his voice all venom. You think you've won? Oakage doesn't go down easy. I stare him down. That's the difference, Sarge. You fight for power. I fight for justice. Operation Sunlight's just beginning. From there, it's a whirlwind. Director Chin and the team set up a field office. Evidence floods in files, witness statements. Eliza Jefferson, the journalist, drops off a 5-year archive of police misconduct. Her reporting connects the dots: targeted arrests, land seizures, property funneled to development companies tied to the mayor. Suddenly, it's not just racism, it's organized crime, drugs, property, power. The net tightens. Wilson, shaken but steady, comes forward. He's done being silent, admits to shredding documents, but gives us enough to get warrants before Grimes can finish cleaning house. Shredded papers pieced back together show a 15-year campaign to destroy Black and Latino families, seize their homes, and sell them off to shell companies run by Collins's brother-in-law. Meanwhile, my property's vandalized, hate graffiti, threats everywhere. FBI or not, they want me gone. But just proves how desperate they are. Mayor Collins tries to play the media, calls me an outside agitator. says the feds are here to destroy the Oakage way of life. The town divides white old guard lines up behind him. Black and Latino residents, for the first time, start telling their own stories. Eliza's articles light a fire. 3 retired officers turn whistleblower. A county clerk brings receipts. Suddenly the machine isn't running so smooth. Grimes and Brennan? They're getting reckless. My surveillance catches them plotting with known drug runners, trying to orchestrate an accident. For me, making it clear the corruption isn't just deep, it's dangerous. We move fast. Judge Martinez signs sweeping warrants. Our teams raid the records office, and we find a blueprint for every dirty deal in the county. Gonzalez, our legal ace, lays it out systematic, deliberate, all roads leading to Oakage Development Corporation and Collins at the center. The big sting comes the next morning. I hold a press conference at my property, announce plans for affordable housing, vocational programs, a community center. Within the hour, Collins and his crew scramble, call an emergency meeting. Wilson goes and wired, gets the whole conspiracy on tape. Zoning manipulation, plans to make the land problem go away, evidence of past plantings and payouts. It's all there, names, amounts, confessions. FBI teams move in, sweeping up Grimes, Brennan, Collins, the whole council. Brennan tries to run, ends up cuffed by me. The irony not lost on anyone. He spits. Collins knows your father. That's why he panicked. The final nail. 6 months later, in federal court, I take the stand. The evidence is overwhelming: fabricated charges, property seizures, financial kickbacks. The jury listens, rapt, as the prosecutor drops the bombshell. A memo from Collins 30 years ago, calling my father a problem requiring immediate attention. The lie that broke my family, now laid bare for the world. My father's name finally, officially cleared. The courtroom erupts. Eliza's story goes national. Oakage elects new leaders. A reformed chief, Carmen Rodriguez, starts rebuilding from the ground up. I stay, turn my 50 acres into the Wellington Community Center, real this time, not just a cover. The community gathers, learns, heals. Eliza and I, after months working side by side, build something together I never expected. Wilson, once a scared rookie, becomes a hero for speaking up. The town will never be the same, but maybe, just maybe, it's finally changing for the better. On the center's porch, the sun dipping over the hills, a young boy asks me, "What should I do if the police stop me?" I tell him, "Know your rights. Stand together. Never stop pushing for better, but give people a chance to change. Justice isn't about payback. It's about making things right so no one has to be afraid again." The air feels different. The scars are still there, but hope is real for the first time in decades. As the story closes on this chapter, my phone buzzes. Director Chin, offering a new assignment, a new fight. But for once, I hesitate, because maybe the bravest thing isn't running toward the next fire, it's staying, rebuilding, turning pain into something that lasts. The question I leave you with, and it's not rhetorical: what would you do in my place? Fight somewhere else, or finish what you started at home? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about justice, healing, and what it takes to truly change a community. If this story spoke to you, hit like, share it with someone who needs to see how deep injustice runs and how strong people can be when they finally say enough. Your voice matters, and together, we can write the next chapter.